sense.
So I have a question. I think a few of us were thinking about, like this is very complicated, and to new people who might not be used to the process, they might be confused, and that might also turn them away from going through this process. So as an alternative, is there anything wrong or bad about getting the signatures on a sheet of paper, or not the signatures, but like getting names and PeopleSoft and student or net IDs on a piece of paper, and then putting them on a spreadsheet yourself, and then emailing that when you're done?
Yeah, that's what we
Now,
did.
are you talking about the petition or the application itself?
Petitions. The petitions.
Okay.
And the application is also online, so maybe we can attach that.
Well, so the thing about the application is that, we were talking about this earlier, we wanted to be able to approve everything on a rolling basis so that it doesn't overwhelm any of the staff and student activities, so that they don't have like a pile of stuff to go through at once. So
Okay.
stuff
Well,
trickles in, they can
This won't change.
go through.
It would be on a rolling basis, because as soon as you hit 50, you would submit. In the same way that that would be on a rolling basis, because as soon as you get 50.
Well, so with this is going to be shared directly with the student activities staff. So as soon as any of us get it, they have it.
I mean, wouldn't it be the same with this? You just send in your 50 signatures once you get it.
So 50 forms on Excel, and then I would forward that
Right.
to.
So you would go, since everyone's going to pick up a physical packet, it looks like, right? You would sign off that packet. You would go around collecting 50 names, that IDs, and all the information, and then you would come back. You would type that up, and then you would email that. I mean, I see the one downside is that you would have to type up those 50 things, but I mean,
It's not stock candidates.
that I feel should not stop the
It
candidate.
also like helps you track your progress.
Exactly, and also
Right.
track the progress. It would help you see who are these people I'm getting signatures from or getting approval from, and then maybe I'll go out to them for campaigning
Then you
too.
don't have to send second emails.
So
You know how many constituents
Yeah.
you have to.
exactly, yeah. So
Because if we do it this way, we have to mandate that
Yeah.
DOC sends the email within a certain number of hours too, right? And so that just puts an undue load on you.
It would-
Okay.
it would be. I mean, again, maybe I'm being naive with this, but like I foresee that there might be problems with
Point of information.
well, not only for you, but also for the people running in, and putting the onus on them might just make it easier.
Yep, I'm asking as a body, do we have to impose a 24-hour time limit, or can we trust the EOC to send it in a timely manner?
We can trust the EOC, but, it's like a,
Because if
It's
they
like
don't
a
do this, what's the, within 24 hours? I mean, we can put this in,
Right.
well, I'm saying, what happens if this isn't followed?
Impeach me.
There's no punishment, so I don't think we need to be too hard on the EOC and just saying a timely manner,
Okay.
which would be obviously 1 to 2 business days, or something along that.
okay.
I just feel we don't have to limit ourselves on purpose.
So going back to the spreadsheet option,
Yeah.
how about this? We can keep that as an option. Can we, instead of making it delegating authority to add QR codes, can we just do it delegating authority to amend the submission process, abbreviate the submission process?
So like my question is, how is this method better than, for example, the spreadsheet one? I'm just trying to see the logic.
So A, it saves a lot of time for the candidates. B, I believe it also gives us the ability to reach more people with it, seeing like if people can just share it in their Facebook groups or whatever.
Okay.
The biggest part of it is saving time for the candidates.
Okay, so that's the motivation. Then.
Right.
I see that. No, I definitely see that. I don't know.
George, to your point,
It's a possible option.
I would rather not provide the EOC with the ability to amend the forms. As we've seen here today, senators have valuable input on this, and I want to make sure that they're.
Well, no, exactly. So delegating that authority to EOC so that we can do those suggestions and then make those changes without having to bring back the Senate together to vote on them. So delegating that authority to the
What
EOC.
changes do you foresee?
To the submission process. I plan on adding QR codes. I plan on adding an alternative petition. I would only do the petition. I wouldn't do the actual application itself.
Okay.
That process.
So, hold on, let's get to Mulder.
I was just gonna say that I think that it's worthwhile to allow people to submit using paper, but at the same time, we should be careful with that because then people could get confused with, okay, what is required of me, what do I actually have to do? Because it's just kind of going back to the old way. So if we're going to do online, it should be all online. And I think that that's a smart way to do it because of the amount of time and paper and whatever else it saves. So we should mandate that.
So-
for clarity.
I think that we have the ability to make it abundantly clear. I can do two sections. Required number 1, required number 2, and then under 2 like a capital or, and then provide the paper version underneath that. Another thing just to keep in mind, when they're filling
Point
out
of information, we have to go the vigil at 7:30, so I
Yes.
just wanted to send everybody to know we have to be timely.
We can be late to the vigil.
Okay, never mind.
they don't just need to finish the paper form, but if the candidate were to go with that option, then they would also need to provide that in digital format to the EOC. So basically the same process as
Senator O'Connor.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I would be in favor of having both an electronic and a paper copy, because I think we all know how technology works. What if the server crashes or everyone's petitions just go to waste? I know it's thinking of the worst case scenario, but how many times is stuff like this happen? I don't want something
Well, it would still be electronic no matter what. Like,
Is there any way that?
All right,
There's still no person.
not
yeah,
no,
chairperson,
unless the roll call.
chairperson, okay.
Just personally, again, like Alicia, I think it's just too much going on, like, it's just either online or it's just paper, like, I don't know.
In the interest of the Senate body, sorry, you,
No,
sorry.
continue.
No, you continue.
It's fun, but, I just personally think that, again, like, just to keep everything organized and in one place and just to save time, you know, it should just be online. If we have to modify in a way that is clearer, like, then we can do that, we just do what we have to do in order to do that. But to have an or and say, okay, submit paper, okay, well, some people are gonna do that, other people are gonna do other things, and to keep track of everybody doing 2 different things at once, from the EOC, it's a lot, and for the constituents themselves, it's not plausible to me. So I think, personally, I think we should just stick with online and just modify it so that it's just clear for everybody, and if you have to change it, whatever way we have to do it, that's what we do. I don't think there should be, or, I don't know.
Well, so what I'm hearing is that we want to pick between either a paper form or a Google form for the petition by people. So who's fine? Can I just get a show of hands here? This is not in order. It's just suspended. We should vote on that. All in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
All in favor? Fantastic. If we, George is like cringing right here, but, I apologize. Who's in favor of having 2 methods of submitting the petition by peers? Just signify-
Physical and electronic?
Physical and electronic.
Well, sorry, I'd just like to clarify.
No, yeah, it's still electronic,
Yeah,
because
so
you
both
can get a physical
Right,
copy.
right. Physical being
Yes.
you collect your signatures on a piece of paper and then submit it, or submit it through the form.
Or collect it however you want.
Yeah.
We'll collect it however you want, but then provide it to EOC electronically.
Yes. Are we in favor of making both of those options available
Yes.
with the handrails?
The physical.
Okay. So that looks like the majority of us. So what if we did this?
Can we?
The-
Wait a second.
Yeah, Benny, go ahead.
I mean, why not do like a hybrid?
Yeah.
Where, I mean, I know there was effort put in towards making like the form we submit, and like, I think it's beautiful. But I felt like there was like a bit of like exhilaration that came with going around campus and getting people to sign my petition.
I agree.
But on that, we can do that electronically. Why not, rather than doing a Google form, why not make a spreadsheet where you have your petition, but it's online? And there's like a template where you have a student ID and you have all the requirements, but you can see yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 50 or up to however many you need, filling up on an electronic spreadsheet, and then that can be submitted into EOC.
Would you type it in, or would they, like, would they do it, like, write it down, and
It's
then
just
just type it in?
the same way the paper, you know how we have the paper where my
Hey,
hand
guys, someone's speaking.
Yes, or like any device. The same way we had the paper, it will be the same thing, but on a Google spreadsheet, where we would be able to, if I was running for any position, I'll be able to show, okay, blah, 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 I'm voting. And that person will be able to type in their net ID here, their student ID here, their email here, and then we go on to the next person, you just go down to the next little cell in the Excel sheet. So you can track it yourself, because like, if you're running, there's a certain amount of effort that you have to also put in. It shouldn't all be on the EOC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a great idea, and you know, we were also kind of discussing something similar. The only concern, like, I feel like we would have with that is, how can you stop someone, once a document is shared with them, to make edits that you want them to make, like deleting the rest of the previous signatures?
No, there's.
So, unless I'm getting this wrong.
What if we only specify the things that people need to put on there and leave it up to them how they do it, right? So we need your name, PeopleSoft, net ID, and that's it, right?
That's all, yeah.
Can I go ahead? I also want to keep this a sort of uniform format. Just so that candidates aren't confused when they're like asking each other like, hey, how are you doing this? And then there's like a million different people doing it a million different ways. And B, also don't want to put the onus on candidates to figure out a way how to collect that petition information. And C, I think it'll make it a lot easier for the Elections Oversight Committee if it's just one or two standard formats so that the USC doesn't have to figure out exactly how things are organized on hopefully 100, more, 500, whatever, different documents.
I just have a question for the DOC. Like, do you think that it's undue burden to have the paper form and then submit it as an Excel spreadsheet and also having the Google Forms? Is it undue burden on the EOC to have both methods and have two different types of submission?
I don't think that that's an undue burden on the EOC as long as we can make sure that candidates know that they have to pick one method or another. I think it would be undue burden on the EOC if somebody took half their submissions through the Google form and the rest through Excel, because then you have to go through and sort and figure out which people.
So say like they started the Google Forms, then we would say like any text that after like wait, they only accept the first one they start with. So they try to
We can write that into right next under petition by peers. You choose
we're not going to
option
say,
A.
we're not going to accept your.
If I may, I've got a suggestion. What if we take what you're saying, what we used to do? What if we say, in order to get the petition by peers, you could either do it the old way, we delegate the EOC to provide the form that we used to use. You could use this form, or you could create your own method to collect these signatures, providing that you collect the PeopleSoft, the name, and so on and so forth. Are we comfortable with that?
Wait, are we still in suspended rules?
Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to say, with all due respect, Chairperson Wang and Speaker Timo, I trust you put so much work into this, and this is perfect. But I myself, as a senator, I cannot vote in the affirmative for this election packet. There's a lot we're still talking about. I have to read all of it before I can put my name behind it. And I know since we have to get it out tomorrow, it's time sensitive. But I feel can we do something where we can have tonight or either tomorrow morning for everybody, including Chairperson Wang, to revise it, add a little bit fine tuning, and for us to come collectively together. Because right now I can only vote nay because I have not read each line.
These election packets were sent out over the weekend, I believe, so the Senate should have had sufficient time to review it.
Oh.
Just to respond to your question, I think what George is trying to do is just, although multiple options for the candidates or people who are trying to run sounds like a good idea to us, because we understand the fact very well. To someone who's not familiar with reading the different parts of it, might be confused by all the different options that they have. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think George is trying to streamline that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
So, okay. Since we're in suspended rules, how many of us trust EOC to make the changes to forms that we've discussed here tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. So, seeing that, how about we do the following things? We edit this motion to not only allow EOC the ability to edit the number of seats, but also the forms section of the election packet. Okay, so let's first vote to get back into the rules. So that requires a majority vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Fantastic. Absent or abstentions, or you can't abstain from I'd like to motion to amend the current agenda item to read delegating the authority to edit the number of seats and edit the forms section of the election packet to the Elections Oversight Committee by unanimous consent. Do I have an objection? No. Do I have any objections as this reads right now?
I just have a question.
Okay.
So, when we're saying amend the form section, is that going to be the only two versions that we have, the paper version and the Google Forms electronic version?
That'll be up to the discretion of the EOC. If somebody comes up with an idea that none of us have thought of that is
Okay.
amazing, then they'll implement that.
I just wasn't sure if
At the
it was
moment, it is
leaving it up to the senators to do on their own.
Hmm?
I wasn't sure if it was leave it up to the senators to figure out how they're gonna do it and then submit them.
I'm very much straying away from that idea.
Is there any further discussion on this item?
I think it's really great that we're having this really energetic banter on this and going into the interesting part of this part of like the election package. But I think if we're gonna have like such like excited conversation on this, we should also put that much effort in how we're gonna be like advertising this. Because like, how are we gonna be talking about all this if people don't know about it? And like, when I think about the election, the presidential elections here, people are tabling and all this type of stuff. I just like, why aren't we doing that now? Concord was doing that on the first day of class. A Concord member of my first class came up. If I didn't know about USG and if I hadn't done student government in high school, I would have no idea. We need to be talking about this much, twice as much, 3 times as much. Like, we need to be talking about this right now.
President.
So just to kind of go off that, the reason that we literally cannot do that is because the dates just changed today. So the worst thing that could have happened is us going into classes and telling them dates that were wrong. Today the dates changed as in like when they're actually voting, like all that, like that would have impacted it a lot. So I didn't feel comfortable telling everybody to go and market something that the EOC chair, myself, Speaker Tumu, Vice President, had no idea what those dates were. There was like a lot of, like over the summer, like miscommunication, there was issues with orientation, like sometimes these things take time, and that's why we're putting that effort in to do all these things for the next week. And I think this happens every single year that we end up only being able to really advertise for like about 2 weeks or so, but this year we are doing more than just the involvement fair. So I understand your point completely, I completely agree with it, but I think it would have been really wrong. I think Concord like knows their stuff, they know exactly what they're asking for us to tell people, hey, you should apply for this, and they're gonna say, oh, well, when does it actually happen? When does it wasn't finalized until today. So, yeah. I think that's really...
Hold on. We must return to rules.
Oh, sorry.
Benny was...
Yeah, honestly, we know the term, no taxation without representation, but I'm just really hoping that we do put a lot of effort into advertising. But quick question, when does this start? Like, when are we doing the elections and all that?
So
Like, when are the official dates, like the first day, day one?
They're right.
What day is it? Like, how close? It's like Essen.
We had to vote on this first. So now we can actually, like, once he does everything, we can put it up.
Is this stuff happening within the month of September?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that, I mean, just to be a little bit realistic, if we look
Guys,
around
begin
this,
order, please.
okay, yeah, if we look around this room, I'm the only black male in here. and I'm not the only black man that goes to UConn. So I don't want to make it racial, but like, it's kind of disheartening. So like, I'm definitely going to try and bring my homeboys in here. So like, y'all need to bring your homeboys and your homegirls and your homeboys in here too. Y'all got homies with one leg, one arm, bring them in, because we need as much representation as possible. I didn't know that the Senate wasn't full. So it should be, because people need to be represented. Students need to be given a voice. So with that, if you don't have people sitting in chairs, people literally cannot be represented because there's no one sitting here representing them. So like, no matter what we do, I just hope everybody knows about it. So like, let's make that happen.
Can I maybe?
You may go next.
Okay, great. Also, in addition to Benny's comments, I will also like to point out some seats that are generally underrepresented that please reach out to people. College of Ag is always underrepresented. Education is underrepresented. You got one. You got one.
Oh!
Fine arts. I don't think I've ever seen a fine arts senator, so please, if you know anybody in fine arts. Oh wait, sorry. Who's in fine arts here? Oh, okay. Pharmacy, nursing. To be honest, I don't really know what academics is, but please, if
It's another ag.
it's a school fact. If you know people there, invite them. Charter Oak, we haven't had a Charter Oak senator since my freshman year. I don't think we've had Garrigus in a while, but yes, please let as many people as you can know about this. I want this Senate body to be full. I want us to have to switch out of this room because we cannot physically pack ourselves in.
Got it.
Chairperson Gadsden.
This is just like a response to what Irma was talking about, and I completely agree with her on that part. But I was talking more of like a structural thing within USG. We can talk about USG and not explicitly talk about running. Even just bringing up the committees. People confuse us with residential hall association, that kind of stuff. To say, hey, we have activators, we have external, we have student services. It doesn't need to be talking about, you can run on this date. There's so much more to USG than just in the fall and then spring with elections. We do stuff other than that.
In light of I feel like we're French frying here, so let's try and keep our discussion limited to the agenda topic at hand. Is there any further discussion on this agenda item? Seeing none, we will move into a vote. All in favor of the motion as it stands, signify by saying aye.
Could you repeat the motion?
Yes. Well, it's in front of you. The Student Body Senate resolves to adopt the Fall 2017 Undergraduate Student Government Election Packet as presented, delegating the authority to edit the number of seats and the form section of the election packet to the Elections Oversight Committee. All in favor of this motion, signify, wait, hold on. That's a good point. Wait, the first went to Baruco, second went to Nolan. All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All abstentions. Okay, I don't have a gavel, but this is passed.
I stole it.
So, are there any discussion items? Seeing none, we will move into the announcements. Are there any announcements?
Yes. Oh, I don't want to take it from someone else.
Vigil 4 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vice President Johnson?
I am speaking to the vigil since it has begun starting. So I just wanted to say when we do move out there, for anyone who is, just be please quiet and respectful. I know you all will, but yeah, if we could do that quicker.
Also, I sent out an intake form along with the agenda over the weekend. Please fill that out if you have not done so already. Are there any further? Senator.
Yeah, sorry, really quick. I know y'all have to go out there. But along with what Wawa said and what President Valverde said, yeah, y'all have probably seen us around campus. This is day 3 of our recruitment drive. We can teach all of y'all these skills. This is what we're here for. We want to help you in any way that we can. You want to do class reps, y'all want to table, y'all want to do phone banking, canvassing, dorm storming, any kind of thing like that for USG elections, come stop by our office and our organizer will help you out 100%. And I'll talk about our campaigns next week. So yeah, stop by the office you want campaigning.
Where's your office located?
Oh, it's in Student Union 214. So if you go through the SOC and go all the way down that warehouse of a hallway, we're on the left, all the way down.
Any further announcements? Seeing none, we adjourn at 7:36. All right, this is our first Senate session. It's a special Senate session. We've got to approve the fall election packet, so that's why we're doing this instead of a caucus this fine Wednesday afternoon. So Richa's going to get started with attendance, and we'll move from there.
Okay, Aguilar, Apia, here. Baruco,
Present.
Bennett, Bernardine, here. Bonaventura, Borelli, Burns,
There.
Caruso, Corolla,
Here.
Dennis. Tockham, Gothru, Goebel,
Oh,
Heidgard. I'm sorry, is it Hoxa?
here.
Okay. Myself, I'm here. Davidi, Jagisetti,
Here.
Carl, Pleisen,
Yeah.
Kundu,
Here.
Lavoy, Manchester,
Here.
McCarthy, McComb.
Here.
Did I say that right?
McEwen.
McEwen, okay, thank you. Michael, Murray,
Here.
Nazario.
This
Yeah, Nazaro.
Someone misspelled your name on something too.
It's been that for a while.
I
Nanazar.
fixed it last year.
Yes, you did.
Prince.
Here.
Also, how do you say it? I just want to know.
Wahucha.
Sorry?
Wahucha.
Wahucha. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. O'Connor.
Here.
Perry. Roger Ramon. Rogalski. Rogalski. Schroeder.
Present.
Sarek. Stosinowski. Takar. Tumu. Here. Villanueva. Von Olsen. Bora.
Here.
Walker? Oh, no, Walker is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. He's right there.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry.
All right. And our chair. Oh,
Okay, so it's
Oh, maybe correction, my last name's Apia, so just like just for
All the way up.
Sorry.
right there?
Yeah, no, it's spelled correctly, but I just figured I would just correct the pronunciation. Yeah.
Yes, that is a good idea.
Thank you, sorry.
And then I was not there.
Yes, all the chairs are. Okay. So, programs chair.
That's me.
Okay, here. Yeah. Academic affairs chair.
Here.
Chief of staff. Chief of staff.
Here.
We only have one now. Student services chair.
Here.
Student development chair.
Here.
Funding board chair.
Here.
External affairs chair.
Here.
President.
Here.
Vice president.
Here.
Fantastic. Is that everyone? Have I missed anyone? Oh, right, comptroller. I missed another chair. Which one?
UC.
Oh, right.
George.
I'm losing it. All right. Excuse me. There used to be everyone else. Okay, so with that, we will move into the agenda for today. Apologies, I'm new at this. Okay. Oh, is this here? Yes. Okay. So, as a first order of business, I'd like to motion to amend the current first item of new business to the Student Body Senate resolves to adopt the Fall 2017 Undergraduate Student Government Election Packet as presented and delegate the number of seats to the Elections Oversight Committee. Is there, by unanimous consent, are there any objections? Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. And is there any objection to what I've written on here? Is
The
it-
seats, is that senator seats?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, this is, okay. Currently, we're dealing with a situation where we don't have the exact number of people living in each residence hall. And until we get that information from ResLife, we cannot make a determination as to how many seats are in each constituency. So, George and Elections Oversight Committee will be our custodians of that information, edit that page once we get that information. We'd just like to approve the rest of the packet with all of you here, if that's going to work. Now, there is no business except for this business. Do we have a motion to carry out this business? Motion goes to Schroeder, second goes to Benedal. Okay. Is there any discussion on this item?
Yeah, where is it?
It's right here. Glad you asked. And George is going to talk about it.
Cool. So, hello everyone. I don't know if you missed me over the summer, but I'm back. So there you go. So this is the new elections packet. It's been entirely rewritten because I do that kind of thing. So some of the goals I was looking at doing as I rewrote this was compiling more information in one place so candidates didn't need to grab this sheet of paper about the committees and then this sheet of paper about something else. So all that information has now been consolidated into one packet. Additionally, the second biggest change you're probably going to see is that we are going paperless in a way. We are trying to save the environment. So although these packets will be printed and distributed, just mostly as a form to advertise the fact that they are out there, all the information that will be submitted through a Google form. So you will no longer go around to fill out the information and then submit it to the USG office in physical form. Now you will just fill out that Google form, you'll click submit, we will get it seconds after you click that button, and that will be all fine and dandy. Additionally, petition signatures will now also be handled through a Google form, so you do not need to get all those signatures and then spend an hour or so typing them out into an Excel document. I figure I tried to make your lives easier. Let me know if you want me to stop doing that. So if we scroll down a bit, table of contents, cool. Open positions, these are all of the positions, constituencies in general for the Senate. As soon as I get the numbers, I will fill them in. Depending on how much I like people living in each area, I will allocate more or less seats to that constituency. Just kidding. Because I know that is a possibility, we will now be passing, in addition to this packet, a provision that prohibits the allocation of seats through any method other than that. Yeah, so how many of you were here last year and remember discussing an equation and then that model that we built to, basically simplify the equation? So that is now codified into this election packet. So, that'll be hopefully a very fair way of allocating Senate seats. This is just the timeline. A couple of important things to note about the timeline. One, ballot applications are open basically as soon as we approve this thing, and I can approve the numbers for the seats. The filing deadline for ballot appearances is Friday at noon. That is how it normally is, so if you are running for re-election, don't forget that. We have changed the voting timeline, so that is now at the end of the week. That gives you a little bit more time to do your campaigning and whatnot.
St. George, would you like to amend this document? To change the date from 13th to 16th? You want to amend this document?
That's the one.
Oh, right. Oh, you did? Okay, great, fantastic.
I'm on top of things.
Yeah,
So now the way it is, voting will close at 11:59 on September the 15th. The deadline for cases to be sent to EOC is 24 hours after that voting deadline is shut. And depending on whether or not there are cases, results will be forwarded to EOC and Judiciary on Monday. And Judiciary will hear any cases. Oh, the minute after, yeah, sorry. Yeah. I guess I'm not on top of my game.
Oh, right, can we do that by unanimous consent?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And woohoo! I don't know if it was a secret or anything, but if it was, it's blown now. Orientation is on the 23rd. Yes.
Can you go back, because I think it's at Wednesday.
Yeah, you change the date, but not the day.
The day has to be reflected with the date.
Where?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, right. Can I edit this by unanimous consent?
All right, so if we just scroll down now, this is just a general description of USG. I figured that if we're consolidating all the information, might as well just have a, general description so people know what organization they're actually joining. So you can scroll down. Descriptions of each of the committees along with their meeting times. We'll scroll down more. The position descriptions have not been changed since the last 20 years. So. I just copied and pasted this part. If there's an error in them, don't blame me. This is what I was talking about codifying the actual method for allocating Senate seats. So hopefully this will make it more transparent, but also help you all keep an eye on the scroll down. The election policies have been simplified. I went through and did my best to remove any ambiguities. I did my best to simplify the policies so that it is in a way harder for people to get disqualified on nebulous charges. So now it's definitely more specific. I'm hoping that that will help reduce the number of cases that we end up going through. Everything else is pretty much the same. Apparently SU 219 is spelled wrong. But yeah. And those are, so this is the last page, I'm pretty sure. These are the forms I was talking about. Everything is now easily electronically submitted. As soon as we approve these packets, I'm going to ask hopefully Nikki to, if we can place these forms directly, I'll link to these forms on the website. So yeah, any questions? Okay, well, let's start with, I think I saw your hand up.
Yeah. Just quick thing. So I'm really happy about how everything's electronic, but as for like a petition by peers, I guess how would, when we're explaining this to like students who are interested, how do we kind of show them how to do that in particular? Because I don't know, I feel like when you're signing like a paper, like it's right in front of someone, like they'll just sign it. But like I don't know if that works the same way when it comes to like if it works the way electronically, I don't know.
Yeah, so basically, so if you click on that form and go to that link, basically what happens is they just fill out your first and last name, the first and last name of the candidate that they would like to send the petition for, and then they fill out all the rest of the information that they previously had to. And I think your question now is whether or not a candidate can go around with like a tablet or something.
Right, like, so how does that, or do we send like an email out, or what are they allowed?
Yeah, so you're allowed to do anything that isn't against the rules. So you're not allowed to campaign with a tablet, but to appear on the ballot, I guess that can depend on whether or not you classify that as campaigning. So how about this? Thank you for pointing that out. Let's go to the, yeah, let's go. Oh, actually, so no. So the specific rule, I remember this. I did see the possibility of this, and I did clarify. I changed the rule so that it's now no campaign may provide any device to a student for the purposes of having that student vote on that device, but to fill out the form that is internally within the rules.
So they can carry around, like, they can carry around the tablet for that?
Correct,
Okay.
for that purpose.
Would that be the only way to do that, or, I don't know?
No, so you can also email it out to your friends, you can post it on Facebook, you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Well, if I may, you may also carry around paper. Do it the old way. Just fill this form out yourself every time.
Yeah, if you want to, if you want to do that. I think we're just.
Yeah, also on that, I don't know if it also be a breach of like rules if someone was to hand you your phone and then you go on the website yourself, like, are you able to have that physical contact with the electronics or?
Yeah.
Because then it gets blurry, because technically then if I'm running, I can take their phone, do it for them and send it. What does that mean?
Well, so you would need to somehow wrestle their PeopleSoft and NetID and other identifying information from them. So you still need some input from the student himself or herself, if that makes sense. So you can't just personally make it all. Does that answer your question? Okay, cool. Justin, I think your hand is next.
My question is
Okay, Prince.
Yeah, if it wasn't for last year, our current comptroller knocking on my door and letting me know that this is like an opportunity for all students, I wouldn't have known that exists, and I wouldn't be here today, so first of all, thank you. But what's going to be done to advertise the fact that all students can run within the constituency that's
Thank you for that question. So we're working with both President Valverde and PR Director Kaya, to better advertise this year. Last year, the Elections Oversight Committee did not really do too much in terms of advertising. This year, what I'm planning on doing is dropping off these packets at the cultural centers. I'm going to drop them off with the IFC, the Pan Hellenic Council, all the Greek, let Greek life know. Hopefully Conquer, but I'll just shove a bunch under their door and hope they don't throw it away.
We'll recycle it.
Add to that really quickly?
Yeah.
So also this year, we're going to be putting up posters around campus, which we've actually never done before. So we're going to have all of that done by Friday. We're going to put them in res halls, in academic buildings. Actually, Chairperson Gatheru brought up having USG members going up in lecture halls and talking about just how Comfort does. So we're really trying to push it, just because in past years we only used involvement fair as a way to push like the elections, but now we're going above and beyond. So if you do have any ideas too that you want to put in, we're still in that process because we can't advertise until we have this voted on.
And also to add to this, I was talking to Speaker Tumu about this. I don't know when we spoke about this, but I also want all of you to help us in this process, to make this collaborative. I want all of you to do your best to talk to as many people as you can, let your friends know this is a thing, run for it. We want the Senate to be as full as it possibly can, for us to involve as many people as we possibly can in making all the decisions that we do. Last year, I think a lot of you heard me say, oh, my Senate's the biggest that USG has ever had, size matters. Well, I'm hoping that we can break that record this year. Hopefully we can get a full Senate this year. That would be 80-something seats.
It depends, because this equation allows for variable size votes.
No, it doesn't.
It does, depending on overall percentages of those schools. Because of the, from the clip scale, there is a variability.
Okay. So there's a very slight variability. I believe it maxes out, it does max out at a point.
Eventually.
Yeah, I think 87 might be that number that it maxes out at. Did that answer your question, Betty?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Whose hand did I see next? I think it might have been yours.
Okay, that's just quick. So the petition by peers, how do, like, the person who's running know how many people have filled it out? Is there a way to see that? Because we have to get a certain amount.
You need 50.
Yeah, but how
Is there a way
can they
that-
check it?
Yeah, how do you check?
Because you could send it out to 100 people, but only 2
Right.
might fill it out.
All right, so if that's, you can email eoc@usg.ucon.edu at any time to get that counter. If you want to work in a way that you can have your own way of checking,
Can the form have a field where you put in maybe your email address and then a copy gets sent to that person?
I'm not sure I can do that through Google Forms.
Can I guess it's like statistics of what, who, filled out when?
Well, so basically, so the petition for peers, do people care if other people see how many people have signed each other's?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you're done, and maybe you can email someone when they hit that number.
Okay.
Yes, okay, we'll do it that way. As soon as somebody hits 50 signatures, then I will notify that person.
Or maybe you can do different checklists, like if you have like sit down with tasks.
So we'll do milestones, so if you hit 25, 40, 50. I will write that down on my body so I don't forget.
Motion to amend the allowance.
What? See, I think you're next.
Oh, no, she'll
Show
No,
me.
Haley asked.
Okay. I'm sorry, what's your name? Kelly. Okay.
But also, will you be getting like packages, school packages you can bring to like class?
Yeah, so these will be printed out and available in a number of different locations. In addition, it is also online, so you can print it out yourself and take them to wherever. Let me go through people who haven't asked a question yet.
So, is there a way, if you don't want to do the petition through the form, is there a way you can get a paper copy of that?
Yeah, so you can also print it out.
So that's an option?
That is an option if you want. But
Okay.
so if you do that, then the thing that you have to do is then you have to go through manually and submit through the form. Basically, the
Which is
point.
the old way?
Well, no,
Well,
the old way was putting it all
then you
into
have to
Excel.
go to the-
Right.
So it's all through the form?
Yes,
So it
correct.
depends how you gather it?
Right, submission is all through the form.
Oh, okay.
Ultimate submission is all through the form. Justin?
So if you do end up doing a paper copy, getting all the signatures
Yep.
and everything like that, you would have to go in and enter everyone in manually?
Yes,
Okay.
through the form.
Yep.
Betty?
Answer my question.
Cool.
So I think my concern about like the signatures is the fact that say if we send like an email for every milestone, that students may get overwhelmed by like the amount of emails, and then that may deter them from wanting to continue the process. So is there more so like so are we attaching it, like is there a way that we can attach that paper copy of signatures? Because I think that was like the easiest way to receive, because even if they do receive this packet, do they have to like type in the Google form in order to access the petition?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess like what?
And there will also be a link on the website, so all you have to do is go to usg.ucon.edu and then click on that button. That will take you
So
to-
then I guess is there a way that we can send this out to maybe like through like Kristen Carr and like send this election packet out?
What do you mean?
Like send this out to all of the teacher organizations, or like a way to send like a mass email out with the packet?
To advertise that we're having elections?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought we were going in a different direction with this
Yeah.
conversation. That I think would be a conversation to have with Chris and Carr. Oh, what's that? Sorry.
I have an answer for that, Sia.
Yeah.
Just because it's so close to elections right now, and Kristen does limit the number of emails USG is allowed to send, and funding emails take priority over that because that's the quickest way to reach tier 2 treasurers. She probably would not do that, especially with all the solid and involvement fair stuff going on right now. So just as a fair warning.
Yeah, me as like a tech guy, whenever I see links printed on paper, I cringe. So is there a possibility to like incorporate like QR codes or anything of that sort?
A QR code?
Yes.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Do people actually use QR codes?
It's integrated with Snapchat now. So I mean, if you have Snapchat, you can use it.
So if that's the case, then hopefully, if it's okay with the speaker, that we can also add a provision to the motion so that I can add QR codes to this.
We'll make that.
Great. Also, do we have form?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Did you need a signature on the other ones?
You used to need a signature, but honestly, there was no way where we could tell if it's
I know, I'm
a
just saying, like, what is the, how do you know that people aren't just gonna find net IDs and first and last names?
So unless people have discovered a way to farm net IDs and PeopleSoft numbers and match them with a first and last name, you could do that previously as well, so pick it all up. But yeah, it's hard for anybody to create both the first name and last name.
I was thinking that was the reason why they did the signature, but.
I'll be honest, signatures was just a fancy thing we like to do. Was there another hand? Is that it? No. Okay. Any other? Yes.
I just had an idea.
Well, talk to us then.
Okay, is there any chance that in the petition by peers, because we are reaching out to a lot more people, there could be a button saying, do you want to get news updates from USG? Because then we could have them on the mailing list when it says the USG things. And like, we're reaching out to people who we usually would probably reach out to.
Sure. Sure.
Okay,
Yes, I will add that to the form.
okay, I'm just,
Justin, I like that idea actually. It took me a while to understand.
okay.
Justin?
So, I think I'm still a little fuzzy on how you have to have the 10 names from your constituency and how the Google Forms is going to,
We'll have a little section on the box where you can, where the person can check if they are in the same constituency. So there'll be a place on the form for you to fill that information out.
okay.
Okay? Thank you for that question. Wait,
Oh, sorry, somebody else.
yes.
In terms of advertising, I know somebody had said earlier that we can't usually advertise until we approve of everything. Well, since we can't really approve of everything, since we don't have the numbers from last slide, do we have to wait until we get those numbers?
No, so you guys can start going out there right now and saying, hey, elections are going to happen that Thursday and Friday, 14th and 15th, I believe. But we just won't be able to tell people exactly how many seats are open for elections yet. But if you want to go ahead and just get the word out, hey, there's going to be voting, this is when it's going to happen. Packets, when they come out, will be due on the 8th at noon. Keep an eye out. That's perfect. I will love you forever if you do that. Yeah, yes.
George, this is more of a question for you, like how you're gonna handle it. So when somebody submits a form, right,
Yep.
like you're gonna get, I don't even know, thousands maybe of these forms, not thousands, like hundreds, right? Because everyone's gonna have 50 signatures.
Right.
So how are you gonna be able to make sure that everyone's signatures are how they are?
What do you mean, or
The petition.
Like,
There's a verification process you go through first.
How to
Like,
see
yeah.
if each person has their 50.
right.
Oh, okay. We can easily write a macro to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because you also have the responses thing, right?
Right, so, yeah, so this is all going to be put into a Google Sheets and we can write JavaScript to help us do that. Yep, we can automate the Google process. So, anything to save my own time goes. Justin, do you have a question?
No.
Okay.
Do you yield your time?
If there are no other, Josh?
So are we voting on the approval of this pending the addition of the seats?
So what we are voting on is the packet as it stands, and we're delegating the authority to edit the number of seats to EOC, and pending further motions to delegate the authority to add QR codes to the base of this document to EOC as well.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Do you yield your time?
I yield my time, Mr. Speaker.
Fantastic. The chair would look favorably upon a motion to codify the sort of warning system for the petition by peers in the election packet, should this body see that to be fit. Do we think we need that provision for people who are going to fill out the form and get people to fill out the petition by peer form?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I think
So one thing we talked about was, if you take your phone out, right, and start talking to people and get them to fill out the petition by peers, do we want there to be a rule that says that after you hit 50, EOC must send you an email confirming that you're done?
Yeah.
Okay, so
50 and 10.
50 and 10. We'd like to, okay, well, I would look favorably upon a motion to do so. Sure. Yeah.
I think it's just like what we did, that way they know that like they don't have to push against
Let's codify 50 and 10 in this election cycle. I'll do 25 and I'll see how that works out. Because somebody else was saying that having a large number of emails might overwhelm people.
Where is it going to be at?
No, they're not getting emails yet. I had some pressure next to me, and I felt like very.
Would be 2 under.
Oh, okay. Then if that's the case, I will put a note every single time they get one signature. Sorry? Changes can, this will be the last changes to be made for this coming election cycle, which is September 14th and 15th. But for subsequent election, it'll be the next year.
So let's say we see something, or like someone comes with a fantastic idea, like that should be added to this package.
Then if that's the case, we can always do motion to reconsider. We'll just take a higher vote threshold than the clearest vote threshold, but,
Yeah, cool. That was like a loaded question. Is that usually how things work?
I think I would.
That was a loaded question. So like, usually, if we, for like any subject, if we vote on something, in order for it to be changed again, we have to motion to actually have.
yeah, so we would just notate, it depends on exactly what we're changing, but if there's any piece of legislation that we want to amend it, to repeal it, but if we were to just bring it back to consideration, then that would be any motion to amend, repeal, whatever, to change something that we previously passed requires a 2/3 vote.
Okay, can I get you all to, well, can you all read? Can you all read number 2? Can you all read number 2 here? Okay, does this look like, this is definitely out of order. Does this look like something that we would all agree on?
Yes.